Hey everyone, it's me, Samantha Bearden, your star shaman and the creatrix of the Abundance Flashmob. Woo woo! That's where you are right now. This is the 24 Hours of Abundance Flashmob. It's our fourth time doing this. We started this in 2016 and we started with 24 people in 12 hours, and we went back-to-back lives and made this amazing impact, global impact. And we just kept doing it year after year, and it just keeps getting better and better. I'm Samantha, and I want to welcome you to the Abundance Flash Mob. No, I am not opening a beer. I am opening up a sparkling energy water as I pour it on the floor. Hi. Thank you all for joining me. I want to set the intention for this next 24 hours because, y'all, it's super, super amazing. The people that we have showing up, the people that are doing this work, the people that are sharing themselves completely and totally what they're up to in the world and how they can influence your life. The next 24 hours are going to be amazing. No matter when you pop in, whenever you're popping in, you're going to get something of major, major value that is going to rock your world. Hi, I'm excited too. So I wanted to set the intention for everyone, just bring it in, that wherever you are in your life, whatever you show up for in this Abundance Flash Mob, whoever you get to see or experience, whatever time, that it meets you exactly where you need to be and you get exactly what you need from it to help you grow and shift. We are growing and we are shifting and we are changing, and there's no going back. We're actually creating, we're creating our life as we see it, as we experience it. So these next 24 hours are going to be so intense and amazing for you to help shift you into the reality that you want to create, into the reality that maybe you feel a little bit you're not connected to, but you are. So these next 24 hours, these next 48 amazing human beings, industry disruptors, coaches, mentors, healers, creatives, influencers. I mean, all of the people that are contributing, you're going to get something from it. So let's set that intention and be open to whatever shows up for you, you growing and learning, and let it be a smooth, wonderful transition for you into who you are creating yourself to be and how you're creating your world. So I'm setting that intention for all of us. I'd like to set it forever. I'm going to set it for the next 24 hours as I hold this space, this container for all of us who are going to be participating in any way, shape, or form in this Abundance Flash Mob. So thank you. If you don't know who I am, again, I'm Samantha Bearden, and I work with the DNA. And I particularly have been interested in it since I was a child because I remember being told that we had 12 strands of DNA and only 2 were good and the rest were junk. And I do start my story with that all the time because it just makes me giggle, because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. So I kind of made it in the background my life's purpose, because another part of my life's purpose is to have fun. I'm all about it. If it's totally not fun, I'm totally not doing it. So trust. When I do the DNA work that I do, it's totally fun. I love doing this work. So I've spent a lot of time looking into unlearning. I had to unlearn a lot of things that was taught to me as a child, as we all are. But as we're creating this reality, had to unlearn a lot of things, especially about the DNA. So today I'm going to talk to you about 3 key things, I'm going to call them mutations, but there are 3 key issues that are in our DNA and what it looks like on a daily, because maybe you don't know, if you're not privy to it, you don't know how it affects our lives. So these 3 key mutations. Now, this isn't 23andMe. This is deeper, more expansive stuff. As you can tell, it's, I'm not just doing the science part of it, although I do love it, but that's for another time. I am talking to you about the potential of our DNA and what it looks like. So if potentially our DNA was called junk, then what's on the other side of that? Treasure. Thank you. And so I always say that the magic is in your DNA. The gift is in your DNA. Your diamond mine is in your DNA. And people, I know that's like, well, what does that exactly mean? So, because a lot of people be like, oh, the magic is in you. You have everything that you need. You don't, it's all in you. Well, it is all in you. It is locked in your DNA. So we're just going to talk about the 12 strands. There are infinite, strands of DNA, but these higher strands of DNA hold this energy and this magic. And so when we only had access to the 2 strands, which create this physical existence over and over and over and over and over and over again, because we only have access to these 2 strands, supposedly, then the rest of the strands were, let's say, mutated for this conversation. They were mutated, and there are several types of mutations, but there are 3 main mutations that show up when I work with the DNA and how they affect my client family on a daily. It looks like this. So one of the mutations affects the energetic circulatory system that your body. So your body, if we see ourselves as energy, there's a flow. And it flows to the left and right. If you look at the meridians of the body and, and things like that, then this particular mutation affects the flow to between the left and the right side of the body. And I see these issues showing up physically on the body as there will be like shortened muscle issues, facial issues, pain, lots of pain, chronic pain. And so we've been told that we had to go our whole lives living in pain, and we die. And you get a disease and you die. So when the energy can't flow between the left and the right side, when the energy doesn't flow in the body, then it creates blockages, which create diseases because your body can't, function and move the way that it's supposed to. And these will show up, a lot of the time it shows up in the glandular system as well. And so this stops the energetic flow. It creates all kinds of diseases and issues. And when it's removed, when this mutation is no longer a mutation, let's say we just fold everything, this part that's showing up for you back into the DNA, then they have better physical health, more stamina, longevity, memory, their memory function, they function better. So one of the seals, one of the issues with the mutations also deals with our memory. So, people that have, they have memory loss, or, as they get older, like one of the issues that they have is it messes with their hypothalamus, their thalamus, their pituitary and pineal glands. So all of this the glandular system, like this is what creates our emotions and how we remember things or how we perceive things. And when this one is removed, like the magic that happens, one of my clients went from, 5 figures to 6 figures And then she took the course that I teach on this and went from 6 to 7, steady 7 figures. I was just like blown away. But she really, this mutation was affecting her so much so that she could not even see beyond it. She couldn't experience anything beyond it. One of the mutations, this same one that I'm speaking of, also affects like our children, you know, at a certain age where we stop producing the serotonin and the dopamine. And so we find that we put our children on certain types of, you know, medications or pharmaceuticals because of this lack. And so removing this out of the DNA and connecting and bringing in this magic that's in the DNA to their physical part opened up. This one woman created a program. She thought she was going to do a webinar, and then she ended up creating a program which generated, you know, 6 figures for her in her first year. And then somebody healed their relationships with their family, created stronger relationships with their clients, created a whole program because her relationships changed dramatically. And so she had created this other, you know, she didn't even see herself going in this direction. And so when we took out this mutation, when that one was repaired, that's what happened for her. Let me see what else. So one of the other seals, we call them seals, but they're also mutations inside of the DNA that show up, also affects your ability to connect to the highest version of you. And so for those of us that are, you know, not in the spiritual lingo of things, there is, you know, like God, let's just say God or a higher power that, you know, or angels or, you know, things like that. But you're the highest form of you, which is connected to the higher power. So one of the mutations on the DNA completely cuts you off from that connection. So therefore, maybe you don't trust yourself. You don't trust what you're feeling, what you're thinking. You don't, you know, connect completely and wholly to all that you know that you are. And so when this is removed, then you connect to the highest version of yourself. Your clair senses open up. Sometimes your vision can get better. I've had people's vision get better, which is great because they're seeing. They're able to see. You know, they're able to open their eyes and they're able to really see. It's kind of like seeing with your heart, and you know, if you're going to speak about it romantically, but it's seeing through these loving, all loving, unconditional eyes. And so you see better and your clear senses open up. And that helped, you know, one of my clients create a program where I don't even know what she's doing with that now. She created a program where she helps other people connect to that part of them. And one other, I'm giving you a special one. Another mutation that is inside of the DNA, and we're all very, very familiar with this because it's disease. We have been learned that disease is just a natural process of life. Well, no. It used to not be. You know, we used to be really amazing and healthy. We would call healthy, but because that was just normal. Now we would call it healthy. And then one of the maladies that show up on the DNA cause diseases from, you know, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, any disease that it's not normal. Any disease, even cancer, and also up to suicide, because that's when the cells are actually killing themselves. So one client that I worked on was starting to give her stuff away, like get rid of her items because she thought that she was going to die. And so, you know, we didn't really know that, but what was showing up was, you know, this issue. And so it was cleared, it was taken out. And instead of like giving her stuff away, she's like traveling around the country right now, like living in a, you know, camper, like just like living the life of her dreams. And, you know, before we started doing this work, she thought that she wasn't going to be here anymore. So she started giving her stuff away. So it's really super important. Like if you want to have access to everything that is inside of you and create from that space, then having your DNA activated and restructured, that's what I do, is key. It gives you, I mean, like, it baffles me like why people wouldn't even want to have access to all of that. And so a little bit about me and and how I had my DNA. I had my DNA activated in the 90s. And, this was like, it wasn't even called that or whatever, but it was a thing, and it was really super amazing. And I got it, but everything felt a little bit unattainable and kind of out of my reach. I can't see comments, you guys. I'm so sorry, but I love you all. And so I was doing kinesiology. That was the work that I was doing. And, so I was working energetically with people's energy that way. I was getting them to be healthy, through finding out what was going on in their, in their organs or their blood, anything, by using kinesiology to help them live a healthier life. But there's a spiritual, there's an ascension aspect to having your DNA activated, and that is like kind of like walking the path, like, oh, and so I had my DNA activated, but that's kind of as far as it went, because at the time it was not really, we didn't really know about it. I just knew that I felt a calling to have it done, which most of the people who have worked with me have felt that calling. Caroline is one of them. Caroline Nixon, who's up after me. I'm going to give her a stellar intro. But anyway, I was guided, just innately. I felt it in my body. I was just like, I have to have this done. And awesome that I did have it done, because my father, and I wanted my father to have it done so bad too. My father passed away of cancer. He had liver cancer. Not at the time when I had my DNA activated, but having my DNA activated and removing all of that, I feel, and I know for certain because I did it for someone else, it stopped that lineage. It stopped that, it stopped the cancer from going to me, because it usually goes, it gets handed down generationally, or, it's cellularly stored. So anyway, I didn't have a method to attain or walk this path of ascension. So I was kind of like, okay, how does that work? Fast forward to about 4 years ago, doing the same thing. And I just had this enlightenment. It came down and was like, you have to bring this activation into the physical aspect of the human being. Thank you. And so, and I'm like, okay, well, how do you do that? I'm like, I got this message, and I'm like, I need a little bit more here, people. But, and so that is how the Sacred DNA Restructure method, this is the method that I teach. Currently, we have 33 people globally who practice this and do this work with their clients. But this restructure method, because if you'll notice, if you've ever done any kind of activation or any kind of work, you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again, because it's not restructured cellularly into who you are right now. And so that's the important part. So with the restructure method, we bring down the activation. So all of this clearing that you hear me talking about, I bring it down into the physical aspect of the person. Let's take, you know, case in point, the client who was giving her stuff away. Bringing that down into her physical experience, who she is in this lifetime, and clearing that on this level as well, and opening up this creation, let's just say, of the life that you want to lead, opened her up in this physical realm to go forth and like live that life, you know? And so that is what's special about the sacred DNA restructure method. Actually, there's a ton of stuff that's special about it, but everything that we do in this method is done, it is a heart-to-heart connection. So it connects all of the humans together, and it brings in, you know, this just connection of humanity and support, you know, in our ascension, which anybody who's going to be on this flash mob today is all in support of that, right? So I wanted to close with the importance of having access to all of this inside of you. Like, one of my clients is super high up there, and, you know, very well recognized and loved, and comes with accolades, and a respected, you know, healer and mentor, coach, like major. She didn't, when I said, actually I was a client of hers, we were like back and forth, but when I said, when I came up with the sacred DNA restructure method, she didn't turn her nose up at it and be like, oh, you know, I'm a healer, I don't need that. She was like, I'm in it, you know, let me have some of that, and realize that, you know, having access, knowing that there are parts of you that maybe when you have that experience of, you know, that glimpse of like, and then it gets like, and then it kind of snaps back like a rubber band. Knowing that that has to do with these mutations inside of your DNA, the cellular story that you have, and clearing that out, and creating a tabula rasa for the rest of your life. Like, just like, you know, here we go. What do you want? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? How do you want to influence the world? And how do you want to shake shit up? You know, like, this is really what it's about. It's about being sovereign in your own skin, in your own body, and who you really are. And, you know, sharing that energy with the world. And I go a little bit out there, but circling back. If you haven't had your DNA activated and restructured, please reach out to me, because we need to get that done for you. It will set off everything that you have ever done or will ever do in a majorly fantastic direction. So if you're working with crystals, if you do the Akashic records, if you do oracle cards, if you're a singer, if you're an attorney, if you're a writer, any of these things, when you have access to everything, all of your DNA, all of the things, all of the magic that's in you that is locked away inside of you, when you unlock that and unleash that, imagine like what can possibly happen. I mean, anything is possible. And that is what I am here for. I am here to remind us that we are amazing. We are amazing. And that we are the creators. We are the creatrixes of this experience. 100%. Not 99, not 75, not 15. All of it. And so having access to all the magic, removing all of these, you know, these maladies and these mutations and seals on the DNA, having all of that removed is the most important aspect, thing, foundation for anything that you could do in the future. So, oh my gosh, it's like 8:24, and I'm going to wrap this up by saying, those of you who haven't had your DNA activated, talk to me and restructured with me. Give me a shout out. I never do 12-strand DNA activations anymore, but I felt a calling to open that up because it's a good foundation. And so I my offer is for 12 strands or 24 strands, but usually the 12 strand is for $597. It's going to be $497. You'll get the activation, you get a live restructuring call, you get a report, you get me for that. And for my 24 strand, that's a really intense, jam. We usually work together for about a month, and you have open access to me. That is $1,500 for the month. And those of us that want to take the course and learn how to do this, I don't care who you are. If you are called to learn how to activate and restructure the DNA using this method, holler at me, because that's what this is all about, is opening up all of the things, helping you serve your clients better. But I'm about to launch my course live, and I haven't done it in a year live, but I'm going to launch my live course. And right now it's going to be $29.97. It's regularly almost $5,000. It's an 8-week course, but there's more on that later. If you're into it, let me serve you. Yes, got to be anchored and integrated. So my 30 minutes is up, you guys, and I really, really, really appreciate all of you being here, all of the love. I am so excited to announce the next person, the Fairy Queen Diva Goddess romance novel writer. Actually, she's a psychic healer, and she helps her clients get to the root of their physical issues. She's also a DNA restructure method practitioner, one of the first, if not the first, person that I trained. And she is an amazing healer, and I love her, and she's so full of bubbly, awesome energy. Oh, Caroline, I can't even say, I could probably spend 30 minutes just talking about you. You are the first, right? Oh my gosh. Caroline was the first person to get certified in the Sacred DNA Restructure method. And that was like 3 years ago, huh? 3 or 4 years ago. Lord, 2016. I know I'm going to cry too because I love her. But to continue the 24 Hours of Abundance Flashmob, I am going to hand it over. Okay, here we go, people. I'm handing it over to Caroline Nixon. She's about to rock your world, and she is going to help you get to the root of your physical issues and help you just live a more amazing life with all of your magic. All right, my people, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to put all of the things down in the comments, anything you need to know to get in touch with me. I love you all. Caroline, it's your turn, babe. I will give you a second. Thank you all for joining me. Enjoy the flash mob. Enjoy the fuck out of the flash mob because it's going to get better.